Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for something you are not. Art begins with resistance at the point where resistance is overcome. No human masterpiece has ever been created without labor. Everything has been said before, but since nobody listens, we have to keep going back and beginning all over again. Know thyself, a maxim as pernicious as it is ugly. Whoever studies himself arrests his own development. A caterpillar who seeks to know himself would never become a butterfly. Nothing prevents happiness like the memory of happiness. There are very few monsters who warrant the fear we have of them. Through loyalty to the past, our mind refuses to realize that tomorrow's joy is possible only if today's makes way for it, that each wave owes the beauty of its line only to the withdrawal of the preceding one. Not everyone can be an orphan. The most important things to say are those which often I did not think necessary for me to say, because they were too obvious. The sole art that suits me is that which, rising from a rest, tends towards serenity. Complete possession is proved only by giving. All you are unable to give possesses you. Nothing is so silly as the expression of a man who is being complimented. No theory is good, unless it permits not rest but the greatest work. No theory is good, except on condition that one use it to go on beyond. The want of logic annoys. Too much logic bores. Life eludes logic, and everything that logic alone constructs remains artificial and forced. The most beautiful things are those that madness prompts and reason writes. Sin is whatever obscures the soul. There is no prejudice that the work of art does not finally overcome. What another would have done as well as you, do not do it. What another would have said as well as you, do not say it. What another would have written as well, do not write it. Be faithful to that which exists nowhere but in yourself, and thus make yourself indispensable. All hands soil. It seems whatever they caress, but they too have their beauty when they are joined in prayer. Young hands were made for caresses and the sheathing of love. It is a pity to make them join too soon. Fish dive belly upward and rise to the surface. It's their way of falling. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. Be faithful to that which exists within yourself. Art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the less the artist does, the better. Believe those who are seeking the truth, doubt those who find it. The color of truth is gray. It is only in adventure that some people succeed in knowing themselves. and find in themselves. Therefore is a word the poet must not know. In hell, there is no other punishment than to begin over and over again the tasks left unfinished in your lifetime. A straight path never leads anywhere except to the objective. To read a writer is for me not merely to get an idea of what he says, but to go off with him and travel in his company. Most quarrels amplify a misunderstanding. The most decisive actions of life are most often unconsidered actions. It is unthinkable for a Frenchman to arrive at middle age without having syphilis and the cross of the Legion of Honor. The most gifted natures are perhaps also the most trembling. God depends on us. It is through us that God is achieved. It is easier to lead men to combat, stirring up their passion, than to restrain them and direct them toward the patient labors of peace. Welcome anything that comes to you, but do not long for anything else. It is good to follow one's own bent, so long as it leads upward. Only those things are beautiful which are inspired by madness and written by reason. I owe much to my friends, but all things considered, it strikes me that I owe even more to my enemies. The real person springs life under a sting even better than under a caress. Great authors are admirable in this respect, and every generation they make for disagreement. Through them, we become aware of our differences. It is not always by plugging away at a difficulty and sticking to it that one overcomes it. Often it is by working on the one next to it. Some things and some people have to be approached obliquely at an angle. Man is more interesting than man. God made him and not them in his image. Each one is more precious than all. Work and struggle and never accept an evil that you can change. To what a degree the same past can leave different marks, and especially admit of different interpretations. What will there be in a story of happiness? Only what prepares it, only what destroys it can be told.